Alright, let's get into this.
Go beyond the battle.
Faaaalke did not really get the buffs that I wanted this patch, but let's talk about what's changed. I already just did a video on the V-shift mechanic as a whole. I didn't really talk about anything Faaaalke specific in that video, but I talked about a few characters as specifics. But Faaaalke sucks ass at like dealing with the V-shift. There's hardly anything that she has that's like a decent tool against V-shift. I mean, like, look at this shit. My standing light kick got punished. I wasn't able to like recover and block in time. He like, if he like reads your motion and footsies or something, and he just does this. Oh shit! I got punished for doing a fucking light kick. That's not to mention all of her other buttons. Punish. 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 Uncrouching light punch. Punish. Yeah. In actual, like, specific block strings, like, if you do that, he's not going to be able to V-reversal and punish that. Or V-shift and punish that. But all of her mediums are fair game. If they get V-shifted, there's nothing she can do. She just... Okay, that's not entirely true here. There's some things that she can do in some situation. If she sees a slow-mo off of certain normals and reads that it's going to be the V-shift break, she can cancel into EX Schneide. That's about it. She can't, I haven't tested all of the hitboxes of all of these things, but I haven't found any that you can low profile. So that's not an option. She doesn't really have any movement options or armor moves or anything to speak of. I tried her overhead in V-Trigger 2. It doesn't get enough height fast enough off of most of her things that she can go into. And even if she like did a move that cancels before the slow motion, the opponent can just see that she's doing the overhead and react to it and punish it accordingly. So that's not a real option anyways. But the kicker about EX Schneide as a potential anti-V-shift break mechanic is that she will not be able to do this if she has the gunshot on. Because during the slow motion, if you let go of the buttons so that you can do you need to let go of it in order to do the 3 punches, there is no way for her to release it in such a way that she gets the EX Schneide. So if you have gunshot available and you are planning on doing like that, you no longer have the only option that you have to counteract the V-shift break. So, not super great. All of her frame traps get blown up. She doesn't have... If the opponent does that, if the opponent V-shifts on her tick throws or something, she does not have a way to punish it. Even with super. I don't think. Oh, wait. I always forget that. Okay. Her super hits slightly further than I thought it did. I thought it was like Kage's, but no. Yeah, her super can punish. If she does the tick throw. Ah, fuck. And they V-shift, she can still punish with super, but only with super. She doesn't have just like a 1 bar or meterless regular way to punish this. As for what she can do, if you're like expecting it or something, if you're like waiting for it, you do like, oh, block string, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna punish it. Well, you could just like, obviously any character can just like dash up, except for, I guess Zangief probably can't do that very well. Yeah, fuck. You can just wait for it and then crush counter it with that. Easy to react to enough there, so It's not, like, terrible, I guess. She can also do this. If she does, like, light kick. Normally they could do that against the gunshot and counter it, but she can do it into low gunshot. And it'll chase it down and punish it ever so slightly back there. In fact, it puts her, if she does like point blank light kick, which is +3, so the start of a frame trap, that they would probably normally want to, and it's not a tick throw situation, because she's not actually in throw range right after that. She'd have to walk forward a little bit, but yeah. If they're expecting that, any kind of frame trap, they can get out of that. They can punish the medium punch, but if you're in trigger 2, you can do this as a nice punish on that. If they don't do it, it's not terrible on block. If you just do this regularly, not as like a hard read. They can interrupt it, obviously, but it's only -3. If it happens to randomly get a counter hit, like they react to it, they're like, what's happening? And then they press too late, and they get counter hit by that, or just regular hit. It's +4. Pushes back a little bit further than I thought it would, but you can still technically confirm that into CA. And on counter hit. Wow, no, okay, that really pushes back far. Alright, I don't think she can do anything on counter hit because she doesn't have any 6 frame normals. Whatever, okay. But yeah, point is, if they V-shift this, and you're in trigger 2, and you read it, it puts you at the exact right spacing for that gunshot to combo straight into that overhead, and that's pretty nice. That's okay. I don't mind that. Other stuff, luckily for her, her gunshot is pretty fast, so it's probably hard to react to it and V-shift that. This can be V-shifted, but like, why bother? You can already just react to it and jump over it. Most characters can, and Faaaalke can't do much about it. But yeah, gunshot is now V-shiftable by everyone, as for like to get like a punish, and it kind of but other than that, air fireball got buffed. It's actually like okay now. It's really not bad, honestly. It's has decent frame data. It just recovers way faster, which means that they can't just see it and jump over for it for a full combo punish. Some character, if Sakura reacts fast enough, she can just jump over it and punish it still at most heights. But yeah, because it's like she starts dropping faster and the drop speed is a little faster. She recovers even better when she's low to the ground as opposed to when she's high to the ground, which works even better in trigger 1. So let's get on that. So that's even better than it used to be. But yeah, anyways, let's first go one at a time. So yeah, frame data is way better on this. She can actually like aim at the ankles now without it being blatantly punishable on reaction because of the bad recovery. So now that she can actually aim for where she's going to be more plus, it's okay. And she can do it and be like really safe. She can play like this, and it's not blatantly punishable on block. It's way faster, and there's way less risk. There's still risk. I mean, like, if you do this and they, like, read it, they go for an air-to-air before you do the gunshot, or they just dash towards you so they go underneath the fireball or anything like that, they're still going to punish you. If they have... Rashid has V-Skill 1, he's just going to roll underneath that on reaction. So it's not, like, amazing now. It still has a lot of the same problems, but it's, like, usable. Which is buffed from unusable. So... you can do, like, dive kick into gunshot on hit. And it's actually, like, not terrible. You can do, so those, like, meaty setups in the corner that you could do, where, those, V-Skill 2 setups, where if you put the orb, like that, so that'll detonate, and that's pretty good on block. Plus 16 like that. So that's much better than it used to be. There's probably like combos that you can get now from like linking this at like just the right spacing into something like that. Combos that you can get that were harder or impossible before, but I haven't like found any genuinely practical stuff with that, so who cares? So that's air fireball. I guess we'll talk about V-Trigger 1 fireball because it has the same changes. So now you can actually employ this as a neutral tool because this also falls faster, so it's not blatantly punishable on reaction with a jump over. And to prove that, I'm not going to prove that. Okay, take my word for it. You can do this, and then if the opponent sees it and jumps, you can anti-air them, which you couldn't do before. So yeah, you can be like way back here now, and you can actually set this up for the ground bounce because it extends it and makes it more plus. And yeah, you can do stuff like that. So it's much easier to lock down and employ it in neutral. But the real strength of this is something that used to be a gimmick that would just take advantage of people's lack of knowledge about Faaaalke, but now it's genuine. Max range, jumping medium punch, V-Trigger fireball. This is now fucking broken. This is ridiculous. So this, I'm not getting max range, but whatever. The point is, if you get the ricochet or something like that around this range, it's going to bounce off in such a way. So this is like one of the only places that you can actually get this this low of height to the ground. And that makes it really, really good. So you can do this. Just jump in at like really far away. Do that. And usually if you jump in like this, you don't get much off of it. You're not even in range for your normals to connect. Jumping medium punch is super strong because it reaches so far, but now you can do that. You're plus like 24, 26 or something. You're more than plus enough to get a dash, and you can actually like use that to get in and start pressure. It's not a true frame trap or anything. Like you can do this and they can just like walk. They can V-shift and V-shift break it. They can, you know, backdash. They can like get out of the way, but you're still pushing them backwards, and the gunshot is still bouncing off the ground, so it's still gonna lock them down and help you in neutral and bully your way in. The reason why it used to be a gimmick is because it didn't recover fast enough, and that if you did this and then canceled into the air fireball and they reacted to it, which they can easily do, they could just forward jump. They can forward jump over it. As you can see, it's not locking them down immediately. They could forward jump it before, and Faaaalke would not recover in time to anti-air. But now, she actually does recover in time to anti-air because she drops faster, thus making this legitimate setup and really fucked up. Just run this all day, honestly. This is super strong. Alrighty, so that's pretty good. This dive kick into like V-Trigger shot is better. V-Trigger shot in general is just like, because it recovers so fast now. It's just so busted, honestly. It was already really good if you like baited out an anti-air. But now it's more plus, so you can get more like heavy hitting garbage nonsense. But look at that. I can just do this like really fast, or do a slow jump into that, and I'm plus over 20. I get a full dash on block. Get a full dash on that. Like, this is ridiculous. This is really good. This is, honestly, like, both triggers got really strong buffs in this patch. The character as a whole didn't get the buffs I wanted. I wanted, like, a counter hit from a light into a medium that I can special cancel. I wanted to be able to do, like, stand light punch, counter hit, stand medium kick, so that I have a tool for defense to, like, counter hit out of, like, a frame trap or something and actually convert that into a knockdown instead of just, like, nothing. So I still don't have any fundamental defensive tools with this character, but whatever. Both triggers are a lot stronger now. Okay, next buff. Actually, still related to those buffs. Super damaging air-to-air conversion. You see them jump at you, you do jumping heavy kick, which is faster now, into the Kugel, which recovers faster now. Better, it's not Kugel. And then depending on the rate, forward heavy punch is really consistent and gets huge damage, but it's not like the best thing. Sometimes you can convert it into that, but oftentimes I've found it to be a little inconsistent. Range dependent, height dependent, yeah. So forward heavy punch, just real consistent. It gets, and it's just so much damage. It's just so much damage for an air-to-air. She can still like convert that into the activation for trigger 2. But she used to be able to do that. Not off of that conversion, obviously, but yeah, there were certain setups. Yeah. Okay. So that's really strong, and I like it a lot. Other than that, even if you don't want to go for the forward heavy punch, you just get better Oki by doing that into the gunshot and then just chasing them down. Or setting up like a V-skill or something, which you can totally do. No. If he quick rise, that would only be like -6 or something around there. Alright. Next buff. Range. This range got bigger, which is a godsend. I really like this a lot. It helps give her a better neutral tool, because this does not have a great hurt box. So this will make it better for like, because it didn't expand the hurt box now. Here, let me test something. I never tested that before. Nice. It actually works. Usually you'd have to be like this close. And yeah, the hurt box is really bad, so any jumping normal that you were close enough to do would just get hit because the hurt box expands so far. But now, the gunshot is further than the hurt box, so she can actually shoot people out of the air. This will especially be like really helpful against characters like Abigail that will be like jumping at that range or anything, but yeah. Extra range on that. There's other things she can do with it. With the extra range, she can do heavy punch into gunshot, and it'll always connect on as a block string, which helps her get more chip, and it's just really useful. And she doesn't have to just go like that into that, which is technically not safe. Most characters can technically react to that and punish it by jumping over it. But yeah, like, for example, post-throw, she can do heavy punch into gunshot now as a meaty setup, which she wouldn't, it would whiff before. Another thing that she can do with this now is, that, I believe, used to not be possible. The gunshot didn't quite reach for enough to detonate the mine off of that setup. There might be some other setups in here that you can now do, like block strings. Because I remember the block strings you could do off of this were really limited before. Like, even if you're like close range stuff like this, you'd either have to find a way to go to medium kick, which will expand the range of the gunshot enough because it cancels really far forward. But yeah, you just like couldn't do any like block strings that would actually like cancel into the gunshot and still be close enough to detonate it when it's behind the opponent, which is, in my opinion, very significant. The fact that you can get slightly further, like longer block strings and still convert into detonating the gunshot with Kugel, which gives you a free dash, so you dash up and you're still +3, so you loop the block string. So like even just one extra frame trap in the sequence is like a huge benefit. Now you can do like... Another benefit to this, if you're in trigger 2, well that's buffed significantly because you're now like, you're +8 off of this, so you're always in range to get like medium kick if you land the overhead, which allows you to get confirms like this. But like I said, this, if the opponent's in the know, which no one is, no one knows anything about Faaaalke, no one has any matchup experience against Faaaalke, but if opponents are in the know, doing this on block is technically bad and can be punished. So instead, you can technically now have access to standing heavy punch into gunshot, and it'll work at all ranges, and you can confirm it into that, and that also gives you a V-skill now. That's another buff. I'll talk about that. Another buff. This is like +4 on hit now, which is weird. +6 on counter hit, which is useless because there's no benefit to +6 for Faaaalke. Especially even in point blank, it's not close enough for medium punch. Even if it was on counter hit, optimal counter hit combo is still going to be something like that. But anyways, medium kick is like that, and is cancelable 2 frames later, and did something else. So basically, this used to be possible, but now there's a few things you can do with this. One, guard first attack. Yeah, so if I late cancel medium kick into the gunshot, it's a frame trap. That used to be possible, but only on 1 frame. The very last cancelable frame, which was incredibly hard to do. So now it's just, you know, regular hard to do, rather than like borderline impossible. So that benefits that. So now you can create frame traps with that, and also it works better against V-shift since you can cancel it later. But another thing it does is now you can hit confirm it, but not easily. It's not an easy hit confirm. It's still it's a really fast hit confirm. I would not be confident in doing this. Okay, yeah, okay. If I, like, rewire my brain a certain way, I can get it a little consistently. Fuck, no. There we go. I need to do a dumb trick with my fingers so that they don't accidentally press it, and I keep fucking that trick up. There we go. Alright. So yeah, it's a confirmable now. I should mention that if you're thinking about, like... doing that, that's not gonna work. See? I hit confirmed it, but it didn't combo. Because... if you late cancel it, it doesn't combo into EX Catapult. It hits too late. You can do regular Catapult whenever, and Schneide whenever, and probably V-Skill 1 whenever, and some other stuff, but you cannot do EX Catapult too late. Also, used to be possible, but was just very difficult to execute, now significantly easier. Ugh. Delay cancel into V-Skill 1. Creates a frame trap. So now, if you have, like, V-Trigger 1, and you're like, ooh, I got these dumbass, things into +4 over and over. Oh, I'm gonna loop this shit. Oh, this is cool. Now you can mix it up, because you're like, oh, medium kick. Oh, am I gonna go into V-Skill? Frame trap. Something like that. Probably not very great, but, you know, it's an option now. Significantly easier to execute than it used to be. And, this. Overhead is a little faster. I haven't found any, like, technical benefit to this other than that it's just slightly faster. Let's see. Oh, universal change. Schneide. Leaves the opponent a little bit closer if it hits them in the air, so they don't get knocked back as far. What that means is that you get, like, throw Oki on regular, and then if they back rise, you're, like, in range for a standing medium kick or some shit. Or maybe, like, a crouch jab. This works as an anti-air, and it also affects the, any hitting them out of an aerial state, so that also includes juggle combos. They're slightly closer, which is cool. Standing heavy kick is like a stronger anti-air as a crush counter, which works in like some situations. So yeah, it's alright. Alright, so this is a weird one. Very, very specific usage. You can now detonate this with this activation, and it's +2 on block. It doesn't actually hit them on hit. It's only for on block. This is weird because you're probably never going to be in a situation where you've put out a V skill and it's like close enough that they can block it and then you activate. That's probably never going to happen. If you have a V skill on them, it's probably because you just did a combo into a setup that placed the V skill there. In which case, it's weird that you didn't just, like, combo into the V trigger if you had it ready to go. But there is one use to this. Mainly just in the corner. But I guess it doesn't have to be in the corner, but probably much better. So let's say you have V trigger ready to go. But instead of activating it, like just comboing into it and then being activated, let's say we can get slightly more optimal. And, like, have the potential for, like, some mixed shenanigans. So we can do that. So, into a mix-up, and the V-skill's still on top of him, which is strong. So if he eats that, there. Way more chip damage because we did this shit on block. We did the chip damage of the explosion on block. We got an extra throw in there. That's pretty strong. Rather than just activating like this, we can just get like a guaranteed chip setup. Or a not guaranteed mix-up. And if we open them up, we don't have to detonate it right away. We can just let them fall and then keep at it. So let's see, like, theoretically what that would look like. So say they bite on the shimmy. How can we combo without detonating it? Or I guess we can just detonate it and, like, convert off of that. So now she doesn't necessarily need to, when she lands a hit confirm, combo into the activation immediately if she's in a situation where she can set up the V skill and then, like, set up some sequence where she can do some extra chip damage before activating. And then go like that. Because that's pretty good. And besides, the post-V skill setup will be better than the post-V trigger. I mean, the post-V trigger activation knockdown is decent, but V skill 2 setups are better. Let's see, other buffs. This can now cancel into V-Skill. When it's done like this on block, probably very punishable by most characters, but this is incredibly useful and very, very strong. I'm not sure how much I would use it in mid-screen. You're not going to get Oki from this anyways, this hit, so I guess who cares? Just use it to set up a V-Skill. it's not going to be rewarding either way. But in the corner, oh, in the corner, this is really good. You don't have to specifically confirm into this target combo. Any hit that you get, you can confirm it into a knockdown with the V-skill setup. Now, when it's done like this, especially in the corner, like, this will place it pretty far behind their back, which makes it limited the frame traps that you can do and still cancel into the gunshot and detonate it. But fuck you. Because when she's in V-Trigger 2, now, this was the case before, but she used to not be able to do this very often because it's hard to get into this target combo all the time, you know? But now, she has access to this bullshit. +6. Anything that she does, she can just, like, no matter how far it is behind their backs, she can just go into, like, catapult into the stern. And it detonates, and it's +6. From any range, she can be, like, back here and do that just... Even raw, she doesn't have to cancel a button into anything, just catapult stern, and it will detonate this. Combo on hit. Massive, massive chip damage. Every time. It's super good. So this is a massive buff. I'm really not sure which trigger got buffed more, which one I would want to use more, because the jumping medium punch max range into V-Trigger 1 gunshot, nuts. But this is also nuts. But this, the buffs that this got, kind of require her to be in the corner, and she still didn't get any better tools for, like, more corner carry or side switch. She still doesn't have a side switch combo. Not really. So, arguably, it's probably still better off to go for the V-Trigger 1, because the V-Trigger 1 helps all around neutral and is a lot stronger now. Matchup dependent, of course. It'll have to depend, but yeah. Those are, am I missing anything? Am I forgetting something? God damn it. Oh, yeah. Crouching medium punch is, like, faster. It's 8 frames now, and it recovers faster. It's you know, it's okay. You know, I mean, like, it's better, which allows it to, and in either V-Trigger, it's improved, because she can confirm it into V-Trigger 1 or V-Trigger 2 knockdowns. Forget, can she? No, she can only... Is that random? Yeah. Yeah, she can confirm that, but only into activation. Once it's activated, she can't cancel into the stern that late, which kind of sucks. But, yeah. So this is a little better. Which is handy. It was already a good button, so that helps. That's cool. Oh, I'm very much exhausted and about to drop dead on the spot, but I remembered a few things. One of which is that due to the buff of, I think the range of this now, like, that's what it's supposed to be, right? Like, this is supposed to function now. Guard after first attack. So that actually combos now after a blocked medium punch. And, let me see if he, So let's check it. Okay, that actually combos, didn't used to. That combos now on counter hit, didn't used to at that range. There you go. There you go. This actually, yeah, that's really good, actually. That's, I like that that's now consistent, because it was very dumb when it was not consistent before. Okay. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Pretty good buff. Let's see. Right. I have a video on, like, V-skill air-to-airs and anti-air, like, before it detonates. How to, let me switch. Actually, now that I think about it, it was a waste of time, because I'm pretty sure I set these recordings on my PC, my PC account, but, I prefer recording on PS4, which is what we're doing now. Let's see. Probably didn't have anything set up. Yeah, that's not right. Okay, well, 1 second. So, for example, you've got stuff like this, where, depending on... I already had a video on this, but, like, depending on how close it is to detonating, you can do certain... I don't think this is, far enough that I'll... But yeah, that's pretty good. Here, hang on, let me, do that from, like... And then that'll detonate there if you do it that early, so it'll cover your approach, because usually that's -4 after you hit them with the forward heavy punch for the air reset, but that'll cover that, so you can actually jump or dash in or do something like that. Not close enough for throw, but it's nifty. But then if they jump a little later into it, you can get combos like that. So depending on... You'd have to... I haven't used this enough to, like, be able to do this in matches or, like, keep track of the distance that, whenever I spawn a V-skill, I need to keep, like, a point on the screen in mind so that I can judge how far the V-skill has traveled. Because, like, how each spot on the screen represents, like, which anti-air I need to use to most optimally get a conversion using the V skill like that, and like that. So that's pretty good. But anyways, the point is that now you can do even more of this crap, like I demonstrated, because you have even longer juggles now. So there's a few different ways that you can do this, because you get better stuff off of this. Yeah, you can, so that takes even longer, and you drop to the floor faster, which means that you actually can just do something like, that, and that would be the maximum amount of time, but I think that actually takes up too many juggle points. I think the V-skill detonation can't juggle her after that point, so I don't think that's actually better than it was before. But now you can just do, like, the regular air to... Even if your, like, V-skill's relatively freshly placed. Yeah, something like that. Even if it, isn't close to detonating it. But, no. More importantly, you get cool shit with this. Because you get an extra long... Look at that fucking damage. That's meterless. Just V-trigger, F of an anti-air. And that one is not time dependent because your Sturm is actually the one that's detonating it. Like so. And you can cancel that into super if you want. So it doesn't matter if it's like the timing is off or anything. Just this attack will blow up the mine. So anytime they're jumping over the mine, they're and if you want to save a little bit more V gauge, you can do a different route. Oops. Forward heavy punch, still ridiculous damage, and yeah, it's pretty great. So, so that's tight. So now let's do chip damage sequences. So, been spending some time testing out chip sequences. So, there's a few things. First, let's talk about this activation. So I said in my video that there's probably some sequences that you can net better damage by setting this up and maybe going for a throw and then activating like that. Well, you can't here. Watch the health bar. Oops, wrong now. That's how much damage that did. Let's see, the red bar gets about to like the M or the A. Yeah, the A in damage. You see underneath that? So that's our starting point. So that, with the gray life, that's how much damage that did. It went past the D in damage. So that is the same sequence. That's just frame traps after that point. Just frame traps into an activation. Chip damage and gray life. It does more damage than just, like, doing a scaled combo into the activation. Substantially more damage. And, after that setup, you're just, yeah, you're +2 in throw range. It's not as good as having, like, a knockdown. It's because it's not, like, it's only +2, but it does more damage. Let's see, another sequence, so let's take a look at what would happen if we did, again, we're going to judge the damage output. Fuck.
Handle this.
So this time the health bar gets, you know, I can judge the 0. Around the middle of the 0, maybe a little bit after the middle of the 0. Okay, so let's try a chip kill sequence instead afterwards. Oh, wrong. Look at that, probably like 80 to 100 extra damage. Just added on that. It just does more damage to chip kill in that circumstance. And that's even like an added benefit if you can get because you get a meaty, obviously. If you get a throw and then do like something into that. So the added benefit of that is that if you here, let me set up to V reversal. The added benefit of doing something like that, like throw into that, is that normally if you do, oh, come on, block. And then they'll just V reversal it. Any move that you do. But the cool thing about this is that if you have this V skill active, you go with that. The added benefit of the explosion is that they can't V reversal it. They're barred from V reversaling it because they haven't entered a state in which they are free to V reversal until after a ways into the explosion. So that is an actual like chip kill trap, even if they have V reversal. So if you can get like a good combo into the no, come on. And then chip kill. There you go. With the added throw, you've done like significantly more damage than like canceling a combo into and it doesn't matter if they built V reversal from that the damage that you did to them. It's pretty good. So yeah, she's got pretty good chip. Good chip.